Darn it! I didn't even set that up at all over here. I'm tweaking. I'm geeking. I'm tweaking. I'm geeking. How many files is here? Dang, I don't know. Okay. Hey guys, hold up. Sorry. Sorry, I'm getting my gram set up. Yeah, yeah. I didn't forget about you. I'm down here. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, hold on. Wait a minute. There we go. Bam. I need to copy this. I need to drag this over here. Whoa. Whoa. There we go. Put this here. Bam. Bam. Kapow. Kapow. Now. We should be good to go. There we go. Tried to call you. Wait, what? Wait, Justin, you said you tried to call me? Hold on. Is that an old message? Oh, that's an old message. Okay, there we go. What's happening, everybody? Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta click. Start recording. Start recording. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, Hannibal Callens, back with another Laforatory comedy writing stream. What? He's still doing those? You goddamn right he is. That's right. I haven't done one of these in such a long time. Y'all gonna have to be a little bit patient with your boy. I don't know what that is. Oh, this is the chair. Okay. I was like, what's that thing? What's that bump on the side of my... Yeah. Perfect. Here we go. Oh, should look a little bit better. Let me know if that looks better or worse. I can't tell. I can't tell if it's better or worse. Guys, that's right. It's your boy, Hannibal Callens. We're back. Why are we back, you may ask? Well, I've got 2 stand-up comedy competitions coming up this month, and I was like, hey, I need to get in the gym, and this is my favorite gym in the world. All right. Plus, I haven't been able to get out as much as I'd like. I got some work on my car I'm waiting to get done. I'm trying to get done. So I was like, you know what? F it. Let me do a comedy writing stream. I'm going to work on my 7-minute set for Atlanta World Series of Comedy at the Punchline this weekend. And then I'll also work on an 8-minute set. Okay? Because that is going to be for the... I think it's called the Funny Comic Competition. I'm not sure, but that one's at Mic Drop in downtown Chandler. Okay, so I got those 2 coming up, and I really got to lock in for those. Plus, I reached into my cousins last minute to see if I could crash at their place this weekend. Did I give them a proper heads up? Nope. Do I do that every single time? Yep. Do I tell them every single time I'm going to do better next time? Yep. So, am I what scientists would refer to as a chronic goofball? Yup. That's the medical term. Chronicus goofballius. That's right. I suffer from chronic goofballation. Goofballation? Chronic goofballation? Yeah. I feel like I should say pause after that. Let me get some lotion on my hands. My lotions, Lord Jesus. You know the biggest reason I need to keep doing these regularly is that when I don't do these regularly, when I come back, it's weird, huh? It's like awkward. So, what'd you learn in school? Like, it's so weird when I'm not on top of these a lot. And we did really good work for when we were getting ready for the funny funniest comedian in the Valley competition last year. We did a lot of good work together. So, okay, now, World Series of Comedy, 7-minute set. That's what I'm getting ready for. That's what I'm working on up in here, okay? For that one, I'm going to be performing. I got to double check, but I'm going to be performing pretty sure Thursday night. It'd be wild if I was in the wild card round. That would be nuts. But it's Atlanta. You know, Atlanta's one of the satellites for the World Series where a bunch of beasts come out to that one. Because there's a bunch of comedy beasts that live in that city. But I'm going to absolutely bring my A game. I'm excited because I'm going to bring... This should be my first time doing my Juneteenth and white slavery jokes in Atlanta. Of course, it's going to be in front of people who I always... You know, I've done the jokes in front of them before, but it'd be nice, you know. I always do this thing, man. I always wait last minute to make plans to go somewhere. So I'm like, dang, I damn near wish I could grab me a rental car and get around. You know what I mean? Because I would actually love to go around their comedy scene on, like I get there Thursday, I perform Thursday night. I'd love to get around the Atlanta comedy scene, actually do some time, but probably not. Probably not gonna happen. Not very likely that's gonna take place. It would if I thought ahead and actually did my ish. So, first off, I'll say this because it was on my head and I was just yapping about this to myself before I streamed. I'm thinking about the whole thing with Drewski and his skit that he did, and now Erica Kirk and Turning Point USA. They were talking about they're gonna get him back. I actually think it really sucks that people forgot not every job and not every position is allowed to behave the same way. Hot take. But there are jobs that require that you behave responsibly. Let me take my glasses off. I think the glasses in the glare ain't gonna make this look good. And do I got anyone here? If you're here, say a little something. If you're here, say a little something. Especially because I'm trying out some not new equipment, but like I'm updated my setup. I've got like an extra monitor with my chats on it. But doing these streams, I'm so far away. Whoa! Who's calling? Darn it! No, phone. Just tell me who it is. Of course. That's Josh. That's my buddy. But I cannot take his call right now. No, I don't want to answer. There we go. Thank you, phone, for disobeying me. Go back. Okay. Don't make me have to log back in, dude. Oh, my gosh. Come on, man. There we go. Sorry, guys. See, that sucks. So my phone took that phone call and then wanted me to log back in. And I messed up my anglage. I bet it's too high now. Yep. Well. That girl. Well. I don't even know how she does it. I haven't seen that meme in super long time. But that's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe a little bit lower. How much head space? Okay. That's not bad. Can you see the whole shirt? No? Okay. Fine, let me just lower it a little bit. I know. Watch out. Just a little bit. I'm gonna lower it just a little bit. That way you can see the full shirt-a-rooney. Chink. We be burning, not concerning what nobody wanna say. Anyway, what were we talking about? Why am I even over here? I'm over here on my because it's over here, Lord Jesus. Oh, that's right, my old phone. Gotta activate that one. Get my Instagram up on this one. Oh, also, let me know if y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can hear me good, because I'm a big goofball right now. They call me Captain Goofball. Y'all already know. Lot of mercy. Lot of mercy. I hate when they do that. They don't have me at the top of my searches in my old phone, even though I'm on it. Yeah! Yeah! There we go. I probably should just keep this one where it's at, because wherever I can put it's just going to be in the way. Hey, I really appreciate you guys and your patience. Y'all not playing for real. No! There we go. Yeah! Hold on. Is that better? No. There we go. I think that's gooder. Huh? What do you think, team? What do you think? Okay. Now, cool. Give me a second while I try to clip farm, okay? I gotta try to clip farm. And we're gonna yap about a couple things that have been on my mind, and hopefully I can clip farm all those. But then we are gonna work on these sets. Man, feels so awkward. That's the problem. You gotta shake that off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Ooh, kill him. Ooh, kill him. Ooh, kill him. Sorry. Yee. Okay. That hurt my knee, kinda. Alright. Drewski and Eric have really made me realize one thing I hate is that not everybody gets to behave the same way. Like, the thing that's frustrating to me, we've forgotten that some jobs require that you behave with a certain level of, like, maturity. And not every job gets to have the same thing. Like, Drewski made that skit, right, and he dressed all up, and now Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk, they're mad, and they're talking about how they're going to get him back. And I just thought about this. If Turning Point does do a skit to try and get back at Drewski, first of all, it's not going to be funny because they do not have the skill or the talent to understand why what Drewski does is funny. They don't understand why something that is comedy. And why is that? Because they're not comedians. I talk about it a lot, but comedy is a craft, and just like ballet and just like doing card tricks, comedy is all about making something very hard look effortless. So I say with comedy is a lot like a card trick. The audience doesn't know how you do the trick, but they love the show. And that is a big part of what makes comedy so special, right? I think sometimes comics, they'll get mad, or they'll talk about how, like, it sort of sucks that everybody thinks they can do comedy. Somebody goes out to one open mic, they go out to one comedy show, and then they think they can do it. To me, that's actually incredibly magical. Do you know how cool it is to be part of an art form that is presented so honestly and so authentically that it inspires other people to believe they can do it? That's cool. Like, everybody doesn't watch an MMA fight and then think, I could do that. Stupid people do, right? But they also, just like with MMA fight, they have no idea how much work it actually takes to be in the octagon and fight in that arena. But it's part of what makes comedy very unique, and I think maybe makes comedy the most unique out of all the live performance art forms, is that it is the one that appears the most like it is just a dude on stage talking. And with comedy, unlike any other art form, the more you can get it to that place, the better you get. I don't know if I've said this in my other streams, and this is a side note, but one thing I like about comedy is that authenticity is the secret sauce, right? Like, for an actor, the way that you are a good actor is by how well you can be a different person. How well can you be someone else? But with comedy, it's all about how well can you be you. And so with stand-up, specifically, the more you learn how to bring out the real you, and it is still performance. That's why comedy it's so powerful, because it feels like it's just a person up there telling, just, kind of talking about stuff that they like, that they think is funny. But it is actually an incredibly intricate, masterful craft. And the best craftsmen, you can't tell, are samurais, with comedy specifically. I got real big sidetracked. Let me know if y'all are here. I'm gonna link these ideas though. If Turning Point and Erica Kirk, if they try to do a skit to get back at Drewski, it's not gonna work. It's gonna be unfunny, and I bet money right now it's also gonna come off racist. And the reason's gonna be because they don't understand comedy, and they're not comedians, and that's okay. But I think their beef kind of reminds me that we gotta remember that not everybody gets to make the same kind of jokes. And I think it's because it's based off the amount of power that somebody has over other people, or the potential power that one person has over another. Stick with me, this is gonna sound weird, but Drewski, in theory, and I'm gonna say this the sharp way, Drewski gets to make jokes about Erica Kirk because he's a comedian. She doesn't get to make jokes the same way that he does because she is a political figure. And because she's a member of politics, she's a political pundit, a political presenter, I don't know what you would call it, right? But she's not just an entertainer. And I think in theory, that means she has more responsibility to respect the position and the power that she has. So for her to try to make a funny skit about Drewski is going to be weird. This is like, I don't want my heart surgeon making the type of jokes that I'm going to hear in the kitchen of a restaurant. Not because a doctor's job's more important than the chefs in the kitchen, but because the person with my heart open and I'm on their table, that is a position that has to come with a certain level of like, I can't think of the word here, but maybe decorum, or like to how you're supposed to do that job. That is a position that isn't supposed to be as jokey as somebody rolling your burritos in the kitchen of a Taco Bell, right? And I hate the fact that I feel people conveniently forget that, right? And so, shoot, that's like the big thing with cops. And it's because of that position, it's because those jobs have people's lives in their hands, where to me, it really comes down to as simple as you don't get to crack jokes like that. You don't get to crack jokes because your job is not funny. Your job is very important. Your job is incredibly dangerous. And when I say that doing that is important, that in no way implies that being a comedian and being being an internet comedian isn't important. The point I'm making is nobody's life is directly affected by what Drewski does. If Drewski makes a skit, if any comedian makes a skit about a person, it may have an effect on that person, but it doesn't have an effect to the laws that affect the lives of those people. And y'all gonna beef with me when I say this, but that's one of the problems, and that's one of the places where this country really messed up with how we've let Trump handle being president. The point blank period is, that's a job that you need to do respectfully. That's a job you need to do with your with your suit buttoned up and your tie nice and tight, because of how many lives are at stake and because of the danger that comes from that job not being done well. And so I think really it comes down to one of the things where it's like comics, entertainers, we and people in a setting like that, we get to say what it is we want. And the problem is people, and this is another point I was going to make. Part of what makes that, I think, that idea difficult for people to digest, especially today, is that now being a content creator is always like, it's everybody's sidearm. It's the universal sidearm. No matter what you do, if you're trying to be successful, you also have to minor in social media. Like, you got a lot of people who, whatever they are, right? Oh, they're a doctor, but they also do social media, and that's where they get a lot of their attention. That's where they get a lot of their blah, 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 blah. And that's one of the things that sucks, because now everybody is trying to be this entertainer-focused, like, skill tree, and not everybody and not every job should be that. Some of these positions, a lot of these positions should just be that. They should just be the thing you're doing, because I need my teachers to be able to be teachers. I don't want my teachers needing to also have an OnlyFans or needing to like also be like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. Like, unless they want to. But even then, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I think a doctor, a teacher, y'all should be making enough money. Y'all need to worry about none of that. I don't want y'all to have to be worried about that. I want you to be able to do your job and be able to be happy and satisfied and well sustained and able to thrive doing your job, because your job is so important. But now it's like everybody has to go to, it's imagine like going to college. It's like everybody has to go to college for the thing they want to do, and they got a minor in social media. Everybody. You a comic, you got to do stand-up comedy, and you got a minor in social media. Oh, if you're a singer, if you're a musician, you got to do music, but you're going to have to minor in social media. Everybody has to minor in social media. It's like you major in one thing, then you minor in social media. Unless you're Drake, then you major in minors. But the point I'm making is that it messes up with our perception of the world, I think, period. And that's why, like, I think that's also partly where Joe Rogan really messed up. There are different positions and different positions, even just in entertainment, like what type of entertainer you are, comes with a different level of responsibility that you have. If you're going to be a comedy podcast, then hey, you get to crack a bunch of jokes. Nothing you say is serious. None of it has to be taken serious. If you're going to be a science and a medicine podcast, then that comes with a necessary level of research and responsibility and respect for the stuff you're talking about, because people are going to listen to you as an authority, and they're going to want to be able to trust you and trust what it is you're saying, and they should be able to. If you're going to be a political podcast, you have to be accurate with the information you're talking about and the ideas you're presenting, because people are going to have their vote inspired based off what you said. And so to me, that's part of that, like, responsibility. You got a responsibility to be keeping it real if you're going to do something that can affect everybody. Let's be real, dude. Big Man got elected because he was running around all these podcasts that were supposed to be and were comedy podcasts, but then they wanted to slide into and get the clout of being a political podcast, but they didn't understand or respect the level of, like, responsibility that comes with being that. If you're just going to be a comedy podcast, you can crack all the jokes you want. I'm a believer in free speech. I think you can and you should crack all the jokes that you want. But if you're going to be a political podcast, that game changes. And if you treat a political podcast like it's just all jokes, a lot of people end up getting hurt. And based off where we are now, we probably end up at the end of the world, if not the closest we've been to the end of the world in a super long time. But I don't know. That's just been on my head. I wanted to say that. And I'm gonna try to come back and see if I can cut this up for clips at some point later. All right, we got Zai up in the building. I see you over there. Perfect. Who we got in here? Who's here? Who's here? Okay. All right. Cool. So we got one person on YouTube. If you are here, say a little something. All right. We are gonna do work though. Don't get it twisted. All right. We are gonna do some work. I don't know when you got in here, Zai, but I think it was probably not too long ago. Just a heads up. I got 2 competitions coming up. I'm going to Atlanta in a couple days for the World Series of Comedy. We got a competition going on there at the Punchline. That one, I should be going up on Thursday night. Pretty sure it's Thursday night. I'm like very sure it's Thursday night. I just got to check one more time. And then on the 15th, I'm doing a comedy competition in Arizona at downtown Chandler at one of my favorite clubs. I've been to a bunch. And I'm hoping I can do really well on that competition because, you know, I just want to do well. That's one thing that sucks, man. I realize comedy competitions, God, they suck because they make one of the few art forms where there doesn't have to be a winner. And now it adds the heavenly restriction that now somebody has to win and everyone else is going to lose. The cool thing about stand-up comedy is when you're doing a comedy show, the goal is to put on a good show. The goal isn't to be the best person on the stage that night, right? The goal is actually for everybody to put on a great show for the audience. Now, the cool thing with comedy is that the way that you do that is by being your best, but not by like seeking to outperform everybody else on the show. Oh, I'm gonna bury you. I'm gonna bury you. That's not actually how comedy works. And the crazy thing is comedy is one of the few things that doesn't have to be that way. There doesn't have to be a winner and a loser. So it sucks when you do a comedy competition because now one of the few art forms where there doesn't have to be a winner and a loser, now you gotta have a winner and a loser. What do we got? Thank you. Thank you for saying good luck. I appreciate it. Thank you, Disoriented Hatch, for coming in here to try to get to scam us. Appreciate it. Remove the space. Look at these nut jobs. Oh, that's right. I got my chats coming in from different places, so you can't see that. So I don't worry about him. He just somebody on Twitch. The only people I get on Twitch, other than the occasional person looking to try to like sell me stream art, is, I think it's even more on Discord. I don't know if I've had anybody real come through on, not Discord, on Kick. A couple days ago when I was streaming Crimson Desert, I had a bunch of people bot warring in there. They were like, hey, the one guy was like, hey man, how you doing? And then another dude comes in and was like, that guy, he's scamming. He's scamming. And then the first guy goes, man, don't listen to that guy, he's scamming. And then the guy goes, hey man, make me a mod so I can stop the second dude. And I was like, my brothers in Christ, not this close to Easter. You know what I mean? I was like, please, fellas, no. Anyway, now I know what you're thinking. Hannibal, you got 2 comedy competitions coming up. What's the move? I'm glad that you asked, because the move is... we got a 7-minute set for the World Series of Comedy and an 8-minute set. For the other competition. Let me make sure my set's recording. Okay. Cool. So, here's what the plan is. I say, and I'm glad that I'm doing this too, because I haven't been able to do comedy as much as I normally do. So I've noticed I'm rusty. Even when we did the competition a couple weeks ago, where by the grace of the heavens, I advanced into the preliminaries. So now I'm getting ready to go to round 2 of the funny comic competition, the one that's going to be at Mic Drop. The next round I compete in that's the one that's on the 15th. The competition was pretty tight, and I got second place. I don't remember who got third, but the woman who got first was Sandra Risser. She's a headliner. And she's been on America's Got Talent. Plus, I'm one of her openers. So to me, it almost, I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like we both won. It almost like we swept the board. It's all like our team, low key. But she and I got a show coming up on the 16th. So I got to get ready for that one too. That's going to be an hour. But that's going to be my regular hour. I want y'all to stay tuned because I am going to be building a new hour that I'm going to be performing in January of 2027. January 2027, because a place I performed at earlier this year, Picacho, Arizona, they wanted to rebook me. They want me to come back, but they want me to have a different hour because it's going to be the same people. So I got to do a new 45. My first mission, my first part of that mission is going to be going through some of my old material that, in my opinion, was like C-level material. Because I had some jokes I used to love, but I don't do them anymore. That if I go back to the lab and I dig them up and I... we polish them hoes up, I think it'll be good. And it'll at least be a great place to start. Lucky me, I have my 45 minutes that I did last time I was there. So I can go back and I can look at what I did do and what I didn't do. Anyway, come on. I'm getting thirsty. And this stream is not going to be too long. I'm not going to let this stream get too long. Because I do want to go out and do some comedy and see if we can run the sets we work on tonight. So, here we go. Can y'all say it with me? Whiteboard! Whiteboard. Okay, so we're coming to the whiteboard, everybody. Yeah. Oh, I think I'm too low. I'm too low, but this is as low as I can. This is as high as I can get. Alrighty, so now here's what's going to be important. Also, Zai, let me know if you can hear me good. Normally I have my mic, but I don't this time, so I'm not sure how well I'm sounding. I might not be sounding good. Yes. Okay. You said yes, but I'm not sure to what. Also, I know that I said say it with me, but didn't tell y'all what we were going to say. I know I did that. So here's the whiteboard. Now this has what was supposed to be my 5-minute set for the show I did, the competition I did a couple weeks ago. And this is the reason why I say I got lucky that I got second place. Competition was pretty good, you know, but I got the willies while I was up there. Not in that I got nervous, but while I was performing, I realized that I hadn't prepared enough time. So then I had to just throw some rubbish in. It was supposed to be 5 minutes, and I think I was probably about a minute short. And I know why that happened. There's 2 reasons why that happened. Number 1, I am rusty. I have not been out to do comedy as much as I should. So just being on stage, my timing was different. Number 2, the crowd was not as engaged as I would have hoped. We were outside. I don't remember what number I was, but I think there was probably a few comics who had kind of made the room feel weird before I went up. And I'll say to me too, I don't think I had hit my stuff as hard as I should have, and as hard as I would have had I not been rusty. So that's on me. But anyway, what's important to you? I ended up pretty short on my time. But this is the good thing about writing all the time. When you write a lot, I mean, I've done comedy for 13 years. So I'm supposed to do 5 minutes. I end up landing it 4. I have enough time that I can sprinkle. I can sprinkle, you know. I can get it in there. So here's what we're going to do. Because we're working on 2 different sets, but one is longer than the other, I'm not going to lie. Well, there's 2 ways we could do it. We could either build the 8 and then just cut stuff out to get our 8 to a 7. Or, stick with me, or we could just build the 7 and then build the 8. they're going to be the same. They're going to be built off the same material, because a lesson I learned from Joe Lowers, the owner of the World Series of Comedy, when you're doing a competition, don't save your best stuff. The way that I put it, I call it pop the trunk. If you're doing a competition, pop the trunk. Pop the trunk to me means like you pull out all the stops and you use everything. In my head, it's almost like, let's say you in a fight or you in a shootout or whatever, right? And it's on. Everybody's bam, 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 bam. Oh man, it's going off. But you got all your best weapons in the trunk, pop the trunk. So if you're doing a comedy, because I made a mistake. I did a comedy competition a couple years ago. It was 2024. I went all the way to Vacaville, California for this. And there weren't any flights that went to Vacaville. So I had to fly in to Sacramento, rent a car, and then drive that rental car from Sacramento all the way to Vacaville to the Airbnb I was staying at. I went all that way. That was the day before the competition, I think. Might have been the same day. I can't remember. Either way, I drove all that way to do a competition. It was the Comedy Cash Cow. It was a comedy festival. I'll tell y'all more about it another time if you want to. Here's the relevant lesson. First round was like 30 people. Next round was 5. I was so worried about doing my best material in the first round, because the first round I think was 3 minutes, and then the next round was 5, and I panicked because I was like, oh my God, if I do all my best material in the first round, I won't have enough for 5 minutes for the second round. Spoilers, I was completely wrong. That was ridiculous. It was incredibly foolish of me to undersell myself that way. I had plenty of grade A material. I have enough grade A material for an award-winning 3-minute set and a separate award-winning 5-minute set. I got in my head. Anyway, what I ended up doing, because I panicked and I couldn't figure out what jokes to do before I went up for the first round, I ended up doing all C-level material. I ended up doing stuff that was C and D. All that matters to you is I didn't even get out of the first round. Not only I got knocked out of the first round, and then I called Joe because I was so tore up about it, and that's when Joe told me, Joe said, never save material, never save material. Dude, always do your best stuff. Yeah, does it first round, do your best shit. And and he was completely right, and this is why. And stick with me here. This is why it is important. It's because, and that competition made me realize, if you don't do your best material and you get knocked out with the other 39 comedians, you get washed away in the entire group of people. If you do your best stuff and then you get to that second round, now you stick out. So even if I got to the second round but I didn't win, there's a chance I could have been somebody's favorite, and there's a chance I could have had an opportunity come from that. You're significantly less likely to have an opportunity come from getting knocked out with the bigger group of people. So even if you don't get first place, you want to get as close to first as you can, because, and this is the other thing too, I am going to skip through this. I'll tell that story another time if I really want to. But what really bothered me and made me so furious, out of the top 5 people they picked, 2 of them I would have completely washed. And I'm not being like full of myself or whatever. I'm a craftsman and I know my craft. When I saw the people getting up there to do 5, one guy clearly didn't have any more material. He was staying on the same topic and kind of was making the same joke about that topic. And then another dude we'll get into this a whole nother time because it plays into why comedy is special. And the comedy is all about how well you can be yourself. But there was another dude up there who was like playing a character, and I realized the only reason that guy got to the second round was because this was a comedy festival, a comedy competition that wasn't put on by comics, it was put on by actors. And actors experience art differently and they watch it differently. So they liked to watch a person play a character, right? But comedy is one of the only art forms where you don't have to play a character, where it's you that makes it special. It's you that makes it work. And this is where people get mixed up. Last thing I'll say about this before we get back to building this set. gotta work on making sure I stay in the middle because I just can't. My setup's all different now. But anyway, um, what was I saying? Oh, that's a big part of why comedy is special. It's one of the only art forms where you don't have to play a character, and in theory, the less you play a character, the better you get. The more authentic to yourself you are, the better you get at comedy. It's not like that with everything. It's not like that with a lot of stuff. But with comedy, the more true you are to yourself, the better you get. I think that's because that's what the audience is buying, even if they don't realize it. The reason they're going to a comedy show and they're not going to go see a play is because they want to watch a person tell funny jokes that are authentic to them. They want you to be you. So, and this is what I was going to say. Yeah, they want you to be you when it comes to comedy. It's the only art form where you don't have to play a character in order to succeed. But a lot of comics get mixed up where they think that being presentable is playing a character, but that's different. Like a lot of comics are like, I'm not wearing a suit and tie when I get on stage. You don't have to. What you have to do is be you. Wear what makes you feel like you. But there is because it's the same thing. And there is a way that you present you, because comedy is not just getting on stage and being yourself. It looks like it, it feels like it, but it's actually getting on stage and presenting yourself. That's why it's like, even if you're not somebody who likes to wear a three-piece suit, let's say you like to wear a t-shirt and jeans. There's a way that you do t-shirt and jeans that isn't disheveled or isn't unkept. There's a way that you do that is you, but is presenting who you are, And that's what makes it tough with comedy. Comedy is so authentic that sometimes it gets difficult to get in the weeds of how do you perform the truth? How do you act the truth? If the truth is what is authentic, then the truth is, right? But then it's how do you do the truth in a way that you present it. That was a lot, okay? My bad. If you got any questions, let me know. Because that's what I love to yap about. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm clip farming. Oh, can't hear, but have a good night. Oh, wait a minute. Can y'all not hear me? Because that's what I love to yap about. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm clip farming. Oh, can't hear, but have a good night. Dang it. Let me know if you can hear me, because I just had somebody on Instagram say that they couldn't hear me, but I'm not sure when they said that. I'm wondering if you can't hear me if I sit in a chair. That's probably it, because my mic should be coming from my phone, and it's all the way back there. Anyway. Well, then I guess I'll pull the chair up closer. You know what I think I want to get? I don't know if this will actually work for real, but I low-key want to get like one of those fancy gimbals. Like I want to get one of those fancy gimbals, something that can track where I am. And so if I get closer, it can go down. So it'll like But also the thing is, my green screen is actually, it's pretty good. It's a really good one, and I like it, and I love him. And I'm saying that to make sure that he hears me say that. But I do wish I had one of those. I wish I could get another one, to be even longer. Maybe take up that whole wall. In theory. We going to the whiteboard. Alrighty. I should have erased that 5-minute set, but anyway. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to work on that 7 because I already have a 7-minute set prepared. This is the one that got me. We're going to do the 7-minute set where I got first place in my round in Arkansas last year. I think that might have been June 12th. That was it for the World Series of Comedy Satellite in Little Rock, Arkansas. And that sucked because I was booked to headline a show the next day. So I couldn't stay to win that competition. Man, but if I stayed in Little Rock, I think I had I would have got it. Little Rock would have been the first satellite that I ever won. But I had to go. And this is the thing, too. With comedy, especially like with the World Series of Comedy, the entire point of that festival is to get work. So when I did really well in Little Rock, and the owner of the club took me aside and was like, hey, man, how long you been doing this? Which can be the greatest question or the worst question you can get as a comedian. After you get off stage, if somebody asks you how long you been doing this, that night it was a good thing, because I told him I'd done it for over 10 years, and he said, yeah, I could tell. But sometimes if you bomb and somebody asks how long you've been doing this, I might even tell you to lie. I might even tell you to lie, dude. Because you don't want to bomb and then tell somebody you've done it for 15 years. Anyway, come on. Let's work on this 7. So, because this 7 is such a big deal, we might go to the notebook, because my 7 should be in there, and if it's not in my notebook, it should be in the big body. I don't know where my big body notebook is. It's been out here. Oh, there it is. It's underneath my, hold on. My big body notebook is underneath my signed Dragon Ball Z Berter Funko Pop. Oh my goodness. Is that signed by Mark Britton? The American dub voice of Berter in the Dragon Ball Z anime? Well, wow. Thank you guys. Thank you for noticing. I didn't even. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mark. Yeah. Me and Mark, we go way back. Anyway. Let's work on this 8-minute set, huh? I'm sorry, I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. Was it stupid? Yeah, but I thought it was worth it. I thought it was a good kind of stupid. The color on my Instagram looks like it's good. Color on my YouTube look a little ashy. Instagram, my vertical good. My Instagram color looks like it's lying to y'all. Make you think I'm not ashy. So, everybody, if you're still in the building, say yeah. Say yeah. Okay. First, we're going to map this out. Then, we're going to go in and smooth some stuff over. Then, judging on the time, we'll run it. And then, yeah. I think I'm going to fly out to Atlanta on Thursday. So we'll also stream tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to do at least a comedy stream, and then maybe I'll try to do a gaming stream as well, especially because I'm going to be gone for a couple of days, so I won't be able to stream. And I just like playing Crimson Desert. I was playing a little bit off stream, trying to unlock some of those things. So, come on. Here we go. Now, first and foremost, we're going to start the set. No. Oh, sorry. I'm just getting distracted because what I want to do, I want to get a camera angle that will be able to look down at my work. That way we almost like in school when your teacher had the projector thingy. I want to get one like that. But I'll have to figure out how to do that. I figured out how to do it in Orlando, but it takes a lot of steps, and it was way too complicated. Y'all be okay if there's some carpet in the scene, right? Is that carpet or is that clothes? Probably both. Oh, dang it. Put a little bit of red. No, not on my pantaloons. No. Alrighty, so come on. Here's something we are going to need to be mindful of. Because I'm rusty, I realize I've been going under. So when we write this set, I'm going to account for the fact that I've been going under on my times. Like I'm thinking I'm doing 5, but I'm doing 4. Which means we're going to have a few good rocket parts. What's that mean? That means jokes that can be broken off depending on how much time I need. You know, if I'm going too long, I can break off this part and still end strong. You feel me? That's why we're going to write this down. Then we'll go to the notebooks to cross-reference. Okay, so first off, what do we start with? We start with surprise. Then we do my Urkel joke. I'm in love. I'm surprised too. Oh, Steve Urkel, after he joins the Black Panther Party, the white man did that. Okay. I've learned a lot from relationships. Like being in a relationship, just like buying a house. If you didn't do it in 2008, it's too late. Then I do unemployed. Then I do unemployed. Then I'll do glasses. This is what I think should be. This is what I think should be 7 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, that silence was me working on the next joke, and I got to work on these transitions. I remember when we were getting ready for the funniest comedian in the Valley, that was a place I really had to work on my transitions. And especially because I'm rusty, those transitions can be tough. So, bam, I do that. Then I move to my hair. Then I move to my hair jokes. Okay, I think what I'm going to do for hair, I started growing out my hair. Then I'm going to do cornrows. I like that joke. I might cut that one out. The weird thing is that one used to be very hit or miss back in the day when I first came up with it. And then I brought it back recently and it's been eaten. I feel like it's been eaten, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you'll have a joke that wasn't working that just is. And as a craftsman, I'm really interested in, damn near obsessed with why. What is it that I'm doing now that I wasn't doing back then? And we can talk about that another time, but recently I've been figuring out why I have that level of obsession about why jokes are good and why they're not. So here's how the hair section goes. It's going to be cornrows. Then I'm going to do weed. Where the weed at, bro? That's this is church. And then we do Juneteenth. Just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass. I think that whole joke's probably got to be 2 minutes. I think that whole joke has to be 2 minutes or 2:30. So here we go. Okay, then we do Juneteenth. We got Easter, Christmas, Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras, that was another one that was doing good, then wasn't. But now I feel like I think it is again. Sometimes I think the secret is something in your face. Like my face, when I say stuff is what can sell jokes. Sometimes. Then I do Juneteenth. Then I do white slavery, which I did that joke during our Crimson Desert stream. I don't know if you remember, Zai, but you asked what's one of my funniest jokes, And that's the one I said. I like that one a lot. That's some of my newer stuff. The next up newest stuff that I made is jokes about going to therapy. And I really like those, but because they're really good when they hit really well, they have to go to the lab though. I got to get them in the lab. Because there's a reason they working, and I've seen it. I did an open mic one night, and I felt it. I got to a part where my wording was, I wasn't 100% sure on the words I wanted to use, and you could feel it. That spot, it went, then I got them back. The reason is that I'm nervous about the punchline for that. I really like it, but I'm nervous that I won't be able to hit it right. So I sort of fumble in the third quarter of my therapy jokes. If you want to hear those, let me know, and I'll do them before we go tonight. Because I don't think I'm doing them in these. I might do it in the 8. I might do it in the 8 minute. I just feel like it's going to be too much time. But it doesn't have to be. I can make a lot of cuts to the therapy stuff to still make it fit. Part of what I'm doing, too, there's like a theme of love in this. My first chunk is about being single. My second chunk is about self-love. And then my last part is about love songs. And that's one of them things where you don't realize that my set started being a lot better when I had that. There's like a narrative through line. But unlike a book, I'm not like, the through line ain't gonna be the name of the set. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to feel that this all was cohesive and made sense, not see that it was all cohesive and makes sense. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Tell me if that makes sense. Okay, so then we go into white slavery. This is where I was messing up before, especially when I've been rusty. I forgot. After I do white slavery, I go back to talking about my hair. I go, I like my hair. Afro this big and glasses this thick, no matter the crime. Description. Yeah. And then this is and then we'll go to disco. Then we'll go to disco, and that's the last joke. Oh, no, that's right. The last joke in my hair set is Jive Turkey. I like that joke, but we might need to find something stronger to replace it with, because Jive Turkey doesn't really hit as well as I'd like, but I have reason to believe it's more of a technique thing. Maybe I'm not hitting it right. Man, you ain't hitting that thing right. Okay. Excuse me. Then we go into love songs. I do want to go out and hit some open mics, so I think we're going to run this 7. We'll probably run it once. Then I'm going to change, and I'm going to hit the road jack. Unless one of my buddies that's a comedian is a mechanic, and I'm trying to see if I can get him to fix some of the stuff on my car, because I trust his work, and I don't want to spend all the money that the mechanic shop was going to make me pay. And if I am going to spend money, I'd rather put it in my boy's pocket. You feel me? You feel me? Like, hey, if my boy can do a good job, let me throw money at my homies. You know what I mean? Like, hey. Anyway, sorry, that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Let's get back to work. Then we got lyrics. Now, I'm gonna do grenade with the addendum of peanut. Yep. And then we're gonna end with our closer, which is grab. Short for grab somebody. This should be the 7 minute. This 7 minute is for the World Series of Comedy. Woo! Alrighty. Funny thing is I have my easel, but because I gotta go fast, I'm not gonna set it up or nothing. Okay. Sorry, it's in my head a little bit, thinking about a bunch of stuff. Yeah, okay. What do you say we let her rip? You know how they do those ASMR videos. Hey guys, so come with me while we work on my 7-minute stand-up comedy competition that. Yeah. Alrighty, here we go. Set that up right down there. Now we're gonna run this. Now, because it's supposed to be a 7-minute set, I'm going to try to shoot for. I'm going to try to shoot for. Yeah, I'm going to try to shoot for what should be 6 minutes and 30 seconds. That's bar for bar, band for band, raw, no laughter, right? Because what I'm going to want is that 20 to 30 second buffer for the laughs later. So what I'm going to try to do is run this set. We're going to try to run this set with no laughter, trying not to pause for laughter, right? Okay. Because you know how flies do. Okay, anyway. Here we go, okay. Alrighty, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian coming to the stage, Hannibal Callens. Hey, thank you everybody. My name's Hannibal Callens. I just turned 31, and right now I am in love. Thank you. I'm surprised too. Because who's falling in love with Steve Urkel after he joins the Black Panther Party? I'm the only brother between did I do that and the white man did that. And I'm lucky to be in a relationship. Me and my lady been together for 6 years. That's long enough that I've learned that being in a relationship is just like buying a house. If you didn't do it in 2008, it's too late. Because the advice you get out here is garbage, man. I had a buddy tell me, yo, Hannibal, don't ever date a woman that makes more money than you do. Craziest thing I heard from a brother on food stamps. I had a lady tell me, oh, you know what? You should stop wearing your glasses. Because you look cuter without them. Maybe she don't know how these work. But I need these to see. Like, this is not a fashion statement. This is a disability. And nobody should be giving out advice like, hey, man, you know you get way more girls if you would just ditch the wheelchair. Man. I've also learned, man, that sometimes people break up with you, but you end up better for it. Man, I tell you, for me, man, my ex-girlfriend broke up with me, and she said it's because I'm the type of man you get married to. Y'all ever get fired from your job because you were good at it? Like, I never met someone who said, hey, yo, McDonald's had to fire me. I had the ice cream machine working every day. I'm not perfect, though. I'm not perfect. Man, I tell you, I realized I had to start my love journey by learning to love myself. So I started growing out my hair. Immediately realized that people forgot how they should talk to me. Like I used to wear cornrows. And for the white people in here, cornrows are tight braids. They go all the way down your scalp. They make for a powerful, masculine look. The only problem was they were on me. hard to look like a gangster when you're built like half a Twix bar. Right? Plus, I still dress the exact same way. So I was the only brother looking like I'm going to a business meeting with the Crips. Hey, what we doing this fiscal year, dog? What we doing, cuz? Like, oh, man. Man, but then I started wearing my afro, and I tell you, I had a guy walk up to me. He goes, hey, man. Hey, bro. Where's the weed at, bro? I was like, dude, leave me alone. This is church. And I don't know what you're doing down here. Pastor, get back on stage. Yeah, and it's crazy. Just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, people think they got the nerve. Like this lady tells me, ugh, I hate that we celebrate Juneteenth now for some reason. Really? Dude, I feel like Juneteenth is the only holiday with a good reason. We've had Toyotathon since 1976, but this is where you draw the line? Dude, we got a holiday about a rabbit laying chocolate eggs. We got one about a magical man who breaks in your house and leaves you presents he had made with immigrant labor. Mardi Gras is just titties. That entire holiday. That's all of New Orleans going, guys. Tomorrow we celebrate Jesus Christ. So today, show me your knockers. I'll throw you some plastic beads. Ah. I think people get uncomfortable with Juneteenth because they think if black people gain power, we will enslave everybody else. But that is not true. At least the other Negroes haven't told me that yet. But that's not going to happen because slavery's wrong. It doesn't matter who's doing it, and it doesn't matter who they're doing it to. Also, if we enslaved white people, it wouldn't be as good. I mean, the amount of sunscreen alone, you're losing your profits in a single summer, right? Like, dude, you can't even have anybody working the fields anymore, right? Everybody gonna be in the house day trading. Buy, boy. Sell, boy. Pick my NFTs, Tanner. Like, I think the worst part, though, would have to be the music. Oh, my God. Dude, because my ancestors, they turned poetry and they brought it out of pain. I couldn't imagine anybody working the fields to Sweet Caroline, bop, bop, ah! Like, man. Dude, and even then, dude, just with my hair, I like my look, dude, because with an afro this big, not only is it a connection to my culture, to my background, it's also for survival. Because with an afro this big and glasses this thick, no matter the crime, I do not match the description. Because, guys, let's be honest with you. This is not the look of a dangerous Negro. This is a disco Negro. And I promise nobody's going to leave the club tonight and get robbed like, ha! Hands in the air and jive turkeys. That will not be happening to you guys, man. I tell you, dude, I actually, can't stand love songs, man. Like, Bruno Mars has a song where he goes, I'll catch a grenade for you. What? Dude, if me and my lady go to the park and someone throws a grenade at us, on the off chance on that day, I think I'm Serena Williams and I hit it back. Someone with the audacity to bring one grenade to the park probably has the future planning to bring two. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hannibal Callens. Peace. Damn. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Wow, okay. Check this out. I don't know if y'all can see it, but check that out. Look at the time. Hold on. I gotta check that. I gotta angle it in my. Look at that. Look at that time. Come on, buddy. I don't know if you can see it, but it says 6:58. Wow, right on 7. Okay. Let me know what you guys thought about it, but I will tell you what I think. That was. I felt good about it, actually. I will say this. I felt good. And I think it's partly because we did so much yapping beforehand. I think the last time I ran I ran that set, or I ran my 5, I didn't warm myself up enough. So I was up there doing it and enjoying it. I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm shooting. However, 6:58 in this context is actually really dangerous because I only have 7 minutes, and I would have got the light. Here's the other thing too. If I got the light, then I would have adjusted, right? But I'm working on a stopwatch. And in theory, what I would and should do is set a timer to go off in 6 minutes, like in theory, or whatever time I'm looking for, like 6 minutes, 30 seconds. That way I'll know, oh, this is where it hit. Because, like I said, I want to have that 30 minutes for laughs. I want to have that 30 seconds for laughs that can be mathematically spread throughout my 7-minute set. So it's supposed to be, in theory, 6 minutes and 30 seconds of raw material, and then the extra 30 minutes is able to be laughter sprinkled and spronkled all throughout it. Let me see. Somebody said something. That was funny. Thank you. I don't know where you're from, but if I'm ever doing a show there, you let me know. I want you to come. I want to be able to bring you out to see me live, unless you're not grown, because I know most comedy clubs and comedy shows are like 21 and up, and then some of them are 18 and up. But I appreciate it because you on all my streams. Least I can do is get you tickets or something. But anyway, here's the thingy wingy. That was good. I felt good about it, but let me be hard on myself real quick. Pause. One thing is, I hit everything on this list, which was good. But the material that I haven't done as often, because it's been a while, this stuff, my transitions were rough in here. And when I did my description joke, I don't know if y'all be able to catch it, but there was a couple parts where I flubbed. However, I'm fluid with it. I silky smooth, mommy. I silky smooth. So I'm able to work with it. I'm able to Wu-Tang with it. Because I said with an afro this big, and I said it too early. Then I had to say my setup. I had to say my pre-line for my setup to that. Because normally I say with an afro this big. No, before that, I say it's a connection to culture, to background, and it's for survival. And if you say that right, that can be a joke too. And it's for survival. And I think I'm going to try that too. I'm going to play with that. Because what you want to get as many laughs as you can. If I can get a laugh there, that'll be great. But I noticed there, because what happens to me, I have an improv brain. Somebody said something. If you somehow do a show and it doesn't say, unless it didn't come up. All right. Oh, here we go. Toronto. Oh, okay. Nice. I thought you were going to be somewhere weird. I think it'll be somewhere real weird. But Toronto, comedy is big out there. There's a lot of comedy in Canada, and I think Toronto specifically. I don't know if they're in Toronto, but one of my favorite, no, I don't think they are, but one of my favorite YouTube channels of all time is Abba and Preach. And they're both comedians, and they're in Canada. But they might be in Montreal. Anyway, that's beside the point. I like those guys because they're the material, the stuff that they do, at least their YouTube videos. I haven't seen any of their comedy, but I feel like they're one of the most accountability adjacent channels. And to me, it's funny. I feel like you're doing something right if people both call you a radical right winger and a blue pill soy boy. If people are gonna call you both extremes, it means you're saying stuff. You're not catering to one side or the other. You're willing to say things that piss both extremes off, because then they're both trying to which means you're doing something right. And I like those guys. Plus, their entire beef with the red pill, I was watching the videos up to date on. It was really cool. I like those guys. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff in Toronto. So I don't have anything in Toronto right now. I am cool with a comic Sugar Sammy, I think he's big in Canada, but he got a lot of followers. He does a lot. He has strong material and really good crowd work. But Sugar Sammy, who's all over, he does international shows and he lives in Canada. Hopefully, maybe I get out there and do a show with him or something. But let's come back to this because then we're gonna wrap. One thing that I didn't do, y'all might not know if you haven't seen my sets a lot of times, I didn't do my peanuts, which is really, really strong. That's hilarious, and it has one of my best act outs. It also has, peanut is actually really important because my closer is grab somebody. If you haven't seen it, you'll see it next time. But I do a grab somebody sexy, tell them hey, and that's one of my best jokes. It's been one of my best jokes for an incredibly long time. The only problem with it is I have never had a strong enough punchline. The problem with that joke is it ends on like a left hook, right? Not a left hook. It ends on a jab, because I go, that sounds like assault to me, which hits, and it hits really well. But then, at least I feel like I need another joke to whoom, close it out, right? I need a haymaker to go on the end of it, and for years couldn't get one. So I would say, that sounds like assault to me. Big laugh. And then whatever came after that, it wouldn't be bad, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as good as that. Which, now that I say that out loud, probably means just end on, that sounds like assault to me. But narratively in my head, that's not a rap. Here's the good thing. When I came up with my peanut joke, which peanuts, I think I probably came up with 2023. I remember I was in a hotel room getting ready for the World Series of Comedy, I think, when I first came up with the peanut jokes. Hey, what's up, Brundy? Then I realized I end my peanut joke with a really big act out, and then that act out, I went, oh my God, I can go back to that. Now my last punchline is I go, I've never flirted with somebody and felt like I should grab my peanuts. And that kills. That's giving me my wrap that bow up on that joke. But I didn't do that. I didn't have time. I didn't do my peanuts. I didn't do grab. And like I said, rocket ship jokes. You build these these jokes, and you build your set to where you can break chunks off if they need to. And that set was a perfect example of it. Normally I end on my grab somebody joke, but when I realized, because I looked at my watch and I saw, I'm at 6 minutes and 14 seconds, and I was just about to go into my grenade joke. So I said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do grab somebody. We're not gonna do peanut, because guess what? Friggin' the grenade joke is good enough that one is a closer, and that one's been my closer before. I'll leave you guys with this, and then I'm gonna go out and do some comedy tonight. I also got a clip that I made from playing Crimson Desert. I'm gonna try to post that maybe tomorrow morning. But that's beside the point. But this is a piece of advice somebody gave me that I used to think was garbage, but then I realized it's actually magical. They're like, when you do your set, like when you're doing a set, Jason Rowland, he does a comedy class out there. He does a comedy class. He does it online, but he lives in Canada. He might be in Toronto, but he's the vice president of the World Series of Comedy. But he got stuck in Canada in 2024, I think, and then we just haven't been able to get him back down. Might have been 23, but I remember the year that I worked for the World Series, he didn't come down, and I had seen him every year before that, so it sucked. He was a really cool guy. But he says one thing you do is if you're doing a showcase set, start with your closer. And that just sounds bonkers to me. And again, remember, I'm a samurai, right? So I can understand the intricacies of, I study the blade, but that just sounds ridiculous. Start with your closer? But then here's what I started doing at a couple of open mics. I was doing my closer early. And then what it did, it forced me to end on jokes that weren't closers before. And I won't keep y'all with it. And if you guys want me to do it, I'll remind me later. But I have jokes about my fiance is from Sierra Leone, and I have jokes around that. And one joke I used to say is, "It's only racist if you're wrong." Actually, no, maybe that was a line I used to say, setting up one of my jokes. Because I say, "Oh, she did this thing," and I'm like, "I found out it's only racist if you're wrong," and that would always land flat. And it wasn't really intended to be a joke at first, but it's like, dang, it was a clear small spot. In hindsight, that was the flow and the rhythm telling me that needed to be a joke. Because I say that line, then I go into the next part of that story, but then here's what happened. This is why I brought up that doing your closers. I decided to try to close on those jokes one time at an open mic, and my timing got messed up, so I didn't get to finish with the bigger joke, which is part of that joke that I'm referencing. Again, I'll tell you all the joke another time if you want to hear it. But I didn't have enough time to do the second part, which is where the real closer is. I had to end on that line, and that having to end on "it's only racist if you're wrong" made it make sense. And I went, oh, I have to hit that line harder. So now when I do it, I do the first part and I go, and I found out that day, "it's only racist if you're wrong." Boom! Now that gets a laugh. And I'm like, there it is. A lot of times it's all about how you say it and the impact you hit stuff with. Because that's a line that for years was just a line and wasn't getting any reaction. And only when I moved my formula and put me in a position where I had to end on it did E equal MC squared. And then I realized, oh, whoa, I gotta bust it in the mouth to make that joke hit. Anyway, appreciate you guys for hopping on the stream today. We worked on my 7, which is great. Why are we focused on the 7? We're focused on the 7 because that's the first set that's going to come up. Plus, I think in theory, I'm not dumb, right? But in theory, if I did the 8, if I wrote out my 8-minute set, then wrote the 7, there's an opportunity that maybe there ends up being a mix-up. But actually, the most important thing for me right now is I have to get stage time. I've not been on stage enough, and so I'm rusty. That is what's killed me. Even in this set, I know the reason why we went long is because of some parts where I stumbled because I'm still rusty, right? Once I get some more stage time and I get some oil on my joints pause, we'll be back in fighting form, and I think we'll do really well. So, World Series of Comedy, my next set is going to be 7 minutes, and then after that, I think it is 10. Then the last one is 25. I am super excited for the 25 because that's the set I do when I go down to Tucson, Arizona. Magnifique. My 25-minute set I think is my best stuff. My hour is really good, but for me to hit that hour, I throw in some material that hasn't really been sharpened up and polished as well as it could be. So I'd be nervous when I have to do 45 to an hour, because I go, I know I'm throwing some D's on that. Oh, throw some D's on that. Yeah, but I'm like, oh boy, oh geez, oh boy, oh geez. Anyway, stick with me here. That's the nature of the game. Nature of the game. But all that, yeah. Thank you guys for hopping in. We're going to stream again tomorrow. I'm definitely going to do a writing stream. I got a few errands to run. Like I got to go get a haircut. But we're going to do another comedy stream. Probably a game stream as well. And I got to figure out where the heck I'm staying when I go to Atlanta. Anyway, thank you guys. Y'all are great. Y'all the GOATs. Greatest audience in the world. Hands down. Even the bot farmers trying to get me to sign up for Discord. Thank you. I will catch y'all next time. Peace. Okay, now I gotta do this. It's when I'm back there, I can't just clip them while I gotta come over here you get it. So if you want to screenshot the part and then just put that. Oh, I just realized is the finger wrong hand. Nope. Yep, that's the right hand. Okay. All right. Peace.